Guilfoyle, I want to drill down a little bit more into the issues between Greece and Turkey.
Certainly.
You know, they're both NATO allies, and I have to tell you, I've started to use that word pretty advisedly when it comes to Turkey. I fought with them. I was led the charge to get Sweden and Finland into NATO, and it was incredibly frustrating. Turkey was using its power because everything has to be done unanimously in NATO to keep them out, and it was a huge fight. And the other thing, as far as Turkey's concerned, I'm the one that put the hold on the F-35s. They don't, the F-35s they bought and paid for are still sitting in the United States because I've got a hold on them. And I'm going to continue to have that hold for a lot of different reasons. But the relationship between Greece and Turkey doesn't get nearly the play in the media here that actually exists. I wind up dealing with it all the time because I'm chairman of the committee. One of the things I'm particularly interested in is the argument they're having and the fight they've been having for a long time over a territorial dispute. I don't know how familiar you are with that, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And the other thing I'd like to hear your thoughts on, and I would recommend to you, is your predecessor, George Souness, who's here. He and our ambassador to Turkey had a very, very close relationship. And I talked to them frequently, and they were really good at sorting out the issues between the two of them. So I would urge that you make that same kind of connection with our ambassador to Turkey. But your thoughts on that relationship and some of the things we might be able to do. The Greeks have been legitimately calling out for our help for a long time on a lot of these, and they're very difficult issues, obviously, between two allies. But your thoughts, please.
Thank you, Chairman, for that thoughtful question. It's one thing I think that's going to be a main and primary focus, in addition to some other issues, if I am confirmed to be ambassador to Greece. I do enjoy a very close relationship with Ambassador Barrick in Turkey. I know him for a very long time, and I have a very close relationship with Ambassador George Souness. So I think this will be pivotal to making sure that we are ready and able to exceed expectations on day one. I look forward to working with Ambassador Barrick on this tough issue, in addition to following the direction of the President of the United States. Sir, as you mentioned earlier, Turkey is precluded by U.S. law that you put forward from actually acquiring the F-35s. There are choices that people and countries make in life, and Turkey has chosen to work with the Russians with the S-400s. I think it is imperative that we focus and point out the juxtaposition of a strong, steady ally who has answered the call and exceeded the expectations like Greece, and someone who, yes, is in NATO, but also needs to follow suit and be that same kind of strong and strategic ally. We don't have that at this point in time, and again, I'm speaking on behalf of myself as a private citizen. I look forward to getting more information, to getting deeper into the issues, following the direction of the President of the United States, and also working with my esteemed Ambassador Tom Barrick to resolve some of these issues. But again, the big focus has to be, what are we going to do in that area? It is so imperative for national security and for the United States of America, and that we also protect those strong allies that we have in Cyprus, in Israel, and in Greece. And I will make sure that it is my mission objective and focus to do just that, if confirmed.
Well, thank you. I think you and Tom are going to be a real team there, I really think, and I appreciate that. The issues that Turkey has are not irresolvable. They are resolvable if cooler heads would prevail, but with Erdogan, it seems like it's going backwards every year rather than forward. So I hope you're able to turn that around, and your comments about the Greek community here in the United States couldn't be more right on. What a great community of people supporting Americana and Americana issues.
Chairman, if I may, just to say that that has been very evident and it's been consistent for so many years, and they care deeply about this country. We have 3 million Greek Americans living in the United States of America and the diaspora, and 10 million incredible patriots that live in Greece, that they want to work very strongly to help and support the United States, and their intentions are clear. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. I'm out of time, but I just want to say, Mr. Bardos, the title of your job having to do with UN management and reform, that's an oxymoron if I've ever heard one. And I got a lot of issues there. Secretary Guterres comes to see me every once in a while. The first thing I do is drag out the charter and say, what are you doing about this? Because, man, it just isn't working. And we're pumping a tremendous amount of money into it. There's a lot of us not very happy about that. I wish you well. We'll work with you every way that we can. And my time's up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman.
Senator Hahn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to all of you on your nominations. I know Senator Booker covered some of the topics I wanted to, but I'm going to dig a little more deeply into those. So, Ms. Guilfoyle, congratulations on your nomination. As you know, Greece is a critical American ally. The U.S.-Greece relationship has grown to probably one of the most strongest and enduring relationships based on common values, based on defense cooperation, based on strong people-to-people ties, energy collaboration, and the important role they have played also with respect to fighting back against Putin's war of aggression against Ukraine. And that last point indicates that Greece also plays an important regional role. So your responsibilities as ambassador, of course, are to deepen the bilateral relationship or to support that, but also take a look at the broader picture. And recently, Turkey submitted a maritime spatial plan to UNESCO that reflects maritime claims that have been disputed by Greece. Are you aware of that plan that was submitted?
Senator, thank you for the question. I'm aware of the plan. I am not deeply familiar with the plan because I have not been confirmed, and if confirmed, that is one of the areas that I want to work with the senators and congressmen and the talented people at the State Department, Secretary Rubio, to make sure that we have a strong command of that situation as well. And with Ambassador Barrack.
I appreciate that. So I guess one question would be the approach that you take, because a lot of the actions Turkey has taken, both with respect to intrusion into Greek airspace, into Greece's waters, obviously create possibilities of conflict, which we'd hope to avoid. Do you agree that as we approach these kind of issues, that we should do it based on the international law? In other words, the international rules of the road with respect to maritime rights?
Thank you for the question. As a former prosecutor, I've been an attorney for, 30-plus years. I have the utmost respect for the rule of law. I believe it should be adhered to. And then there is the additional aspects to consider of what is the State Department policy, what is the position of the President of the United States as it relates to American interests. Will it make us stronger, safer, more prosperous? All of those need to be applied to these complex matrices to make sure that we know that we are acting in the best interest of the United States. And because Greece is so important and pivotal geopolitically, it is a key place in the region that must be respected. And I am a strong believer that we are sending a message to the rest of the world if we do not treat our most strongest and strategic and consistent and steadfast allies like Greece in an appropriate manner to honor and respect the commitment that they have made to the United States of America, and as you mentioned, with our shared values. Yeah. This is of pivotal importance. And I do believe, again, speaking privately and not as a confirmed ambassador, if confirmed, I would work very hard to make sure that we are really keeping that distinction about who has been acting in the best interest of the United States of America in accordance with the President's viewpoints, in accordance with our national and security interests and foreign policy interests. And I think there's a strong juxtaposition between allies who have and haven't.
I appreciate that. I just want to underscore the fact that Greece sees it in its interests to apply international law. international maritime law. And I would hope that the U.S. position is that we also respect maritime law and not support or look the other way when that's being violated. But your answer, of course, opened the door to looking the other way and, depending on other factors. So let me I need to turn to Ambassador Blanchard, and I know Senator Booker covered some of this. As you know, the president's budget, envisions very deep cuts to the UN generally, including deep cuts to the UN humanitarian and food programs. Among the UN entities that you'll be responsible for, working with is the World Food Program, which, as you know, is headed by an American who I believe is